Okay. So,
Welcome back to the Bro Show, where we do it all, where we talk about it all and have a ball. I am your host, Bro Mikey. Along with me,
CDH Warrior.
welcome to the Bro Show. I'll tell you what, where we do it all, where we talk about it all and have a ball. So, on today's episodes, we're gonna be talking about random stuff like we did last time. Because, for one, we're running out of things to talk about. For two, even though we say leave it down in the comments, let us know what you want to talk about. Cause
No one does.
We tell you, we don't do these shows just for us. We do them for you too. So whatever you might be going through, let us know, and we'll do our research or best up to our knowledge and talk about it. Because we're like a community. This channel is to help those who are going through some things, whatever it may be. I mean, I'm not going to go in further detail about whatever, but okay. But let's see here. The first thing that we're going to be starting out with is headlights for cars. Reason being is because this generation's cars aren't normal headlights like they used to be.
No.
They're like LED hydros, and like different shaped, and some of them are expensive.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, more expensive.
Yeah. They're definitely expensive.
Because I'd hate to see, because technically it's our car, but even though I bought it for her, the headlights on her car are going to be, because they're not normal lights. The LED part of them ain't normal.
No. It's a whole bunch of little bitty bulbs dotted around the outside of the headlight.
And speaking of headlights, I was at work yesterday, and I swear I wish I would have took a picture of it. That way I could have put it more towards the end of the video. But I swear to you, this headlight that I saw yesterday looked like a spider's eye.
They do.
Because it was it's like one headlight, but a bunch of little bitty light bulbs and you know. But I swear. And if you hear something in the background, it's just a heater, because I'm just trying to take the chill out the air, because unfortunately we're dealing with a little bit cool temperatures with a rainy, cloudy day, and it's supposed to rain all weekend, so temperature is varying up and down here lately. But I'll tell you what, them 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, were beautiful days. It was like spring. It was like one day it was like 77. The other day it was like almost 80 degrees. I think that's what it was. Like the day that was 77 was like, it was almost 80 degrees, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. And
I had to work both of them. Now, why couldn't it have been on my days off?
Yeah.
Because I would have sat back and relaxed on the porch, just watching the day go by. And guess what? 3 weeks. Guess what's gonna be happening? Spring.
Okay.
Is right around the corner. March 20th is the first day of spring. So who's excited about this? Because winter is about over, folks.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, but it's about over.
Well, winter's kind of been over for a little bit.
To a point. But technically, on calendar, it's still here. But temperature-wise,
I swear the other day it was 70 when I was at work. Either Thursday?
Yeah. That's the day it was 77.
Yeah. It
Awesome.
was 70 while I was working.
The other Wednesday was 77. But they were still in the 70s both days, either way. But, yeah. My old lady was asking me, when's the first day of spring? I said, around the 20-something of this month, which technically is the 20th. And on other news, guess what my wife wants to do? Now, it ain't not bad. It actually kind of surprised me in a way. We're going to our first concert
Wow.
in 23 years. We're going to our very first. I mean, granted, it's country, but yet it's her first.
It's a concert.
It's her first concert. Because what we originally were going to do is go to Guns N' Roses, because that's more towards September. But you can order your tickets now. But right now, the Guns N' Roses tickets were hell expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And as it gets closer to whatever, they'll drop in price.
Well,
Yeah, because
I would figure they'd go up considering there'd be less.
Because the concert we're going to within a few months or so, I forget the artist's name, but when Nancy first found out about him, because like I said, she's a huge country fan. Not necessarily that. It's the person that we're going to she's a big fan of him, and when she first found out about him, his prices were up there.
Mm-hmm.
So in his concert's like 2-3 months away, and they drop rapidly. So instead of paying almost $200 a ticket, guess how much we're paying now?
50.
Close. For 2 tickets, it's $80, and we already got them. So, and it's at Thompson Bowling Arena.
That's $40 a ticket. That's not bad.
Exactly. Dropped from almost 200 down to that.
Down to 40. Wow.
And keep me from rambling on, I'm going to let my co-host talk about a few things that's on his mind at the moment. So, without further ado,
I really don't have much to talk about today.
Well,
I've been spending the last couple of days dealing with plumbing issues. Had a pipe burst in the house.
you're going to talk about that, some Christianity stuff.
Oh. So, that was one thing that happened today, or yesterday. Came home Thursday night, and I kept hearing water drip. And then I found out that it was outright just spraying water. So, we spent the last 2 days and 4 trips to Lowe's and Home Depot trying to fix a broken pipe. But for my main topic, I wanted to discuss up front, I am Southern Baptist, but I'm not a completely practicing Baptist.
I'm a missionary. So, yeah.
But one thing that is getting to me in religion is we're using religion as a business, if that makes any sense. I'm seeing too many false Christians.
Yep.
too many people that want to throw around the title of religion in the name of religion, but don't actually practice. And it's starting to bother me.
I mean, yeah, give it granted. All I am is just a sinner saved by grace. And we will have our falls. But it's also, that's the thing about repenting and asking God to forgive us.
I think what bothers me is there are too many people that use the faith and the religion as a way to control others. Like, basically, it goes from, I can't do that, it's against my religion, okay, to, you can't do that, it's against my religion. And that's where I get into the false Christians. They only practice the faith to control and manipulate others. That's not fair to any of us. Because it's not fair to those that try to practice and don't want to control, don't openly practice, if that makes any sense. And it also hurts those of us that want to try and do right, but aren't able to because of all these false people ruining it. All the false prophets.
And the thing about that is, when you hear something, don't just take it by the word.
Yeah.
Because God said,
watch their actions.
God said, get into the word to see if he's actually telling the truth. And see if the Bible actually says what they're preaching or talking about. And that right there will tell you if it's actual true or not.
Yeah.
Because I had preachers tell me I've had preachers tell me that. I've had my parents tell me that. Because if you hear something like a scripture, go back home and
actually
read the scripture to see if he's actually telling the truth or not. Because even though he's a man of God, you don't know if it's actual.
What he's actually preaching is the truth.
Yeah, because that's why God says, be careful in what you hear, because there's a lot of false
prophets.
Yeah, that'll lead you the wrong way.
Oh, and there's actually a contradictory statement. There was a preacher that was called out about this. I guess it was last year that he preached, if you're not an eyewitness, you're a false witness. And somebody said, okay, so we can throw out all the Gospels. Because officially they are second-hand information that is written down. So, are we supposed to take it as being correct? I think too many people take and cherry pick it.
And twist the words and twist the Bible on what suits them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say something a lot of people don't understand what the word actually means. You might know it, and I definitely know what it means. But you may or may not know it, and our audience may or may not know it. Do you know what the word Bible actually stands for? The actual letters of the reason why it's pronounced the way it is, and why it's spelled out the way it is. I'm going to let you sit there and ponder for a few seconds before I actually say what the actual letters of the Bible say. And I'm not talking about the words in the books. I'm talking about the BLBLE stands for the word Bible. While he's thinking,
it's gonna take me a second, but if I recall the whole,
but
are we going based on meaning of the word?
Yeah. As he's thinking, I'm gonna let you out. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The word Bible.
It's Latin from biblio.
No, it's not one of the words.
Oh, okay.
What the word Bible actually stands for is believe in before leaving Earth. And that's why it's spelled Bible. Believe in before leaving Earth. A preacher told me that. Because see, even though this ain't really been dusted off proper, even though this ain't really been dusted off really proper, but the B is believe, the I is in, the B is before, L, leaving, and the word letter E, Earth.
Sorry, I was trying to go more from the literal explanation. He was going from the spiritual explanation.
Yep. Because it's the spirit that moves us. It guides us to do what's right.
I think too many people. I'm going to circle back to my original statement about cherry picking it. And I'm circling back to this on purpose. So many people want to basically state that you're only supposed to believe the New Testament.
You can't believe the New Testament until you read the
Old Testament.
Because that's the original. Back when Jesus was walking the earth, the Old Testament was being fulfilled then.
Yeah. Well, and the thing to me, they cherry pick. Like, for example, with the New Testament, so many people want to state, oh, don't take the Bible literal with certain things that the Bible tells us in our faith. And that it's not supposed to be taken literally. And then you turn to a page about the gays or
the homosexuals.
And it's like, no, that has to be taken literally. We are supposed to beat or whip them, and they're sinning against people. And it's like, so I can't call you out on your literal issues, but you can call them out on theirs. Isn't that kind of a double standard? And doesn't the Bible preach against doing that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of tired of the Bible thumpers.
I mean, I know we got to be careful in what we say, because a lot of people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be saying," like, because for how the world is right now. But this is just real life stuff that everybody has to be facing.
Yeah. What's bothering me is that people are claiming Revelations as being fulfilled. It's like, you don't understand the whole point of Revelations. It's not being fulfilled yet.
Actually, it is. It's being
parts of it, but not the whole thing.
Because in Revelations it's saying there's going to be a time where we won't know the change in weather like we're experiencing now. There's going to be experiences happening that don't normally happen. Like Tennessee wasn't supposed to experience earthquakes, and we had an earthquake a few years back. There's certain parts of the world that wasn't supposed to be damaged, and it is.
Can I backtrack on something about the earthquakes?
And that's in Revelations.
Can I backtrack on the earthquakes real quick? We literally sit right on a fault. We sit on the Appalachian Fault.
Yeah, but it's not like California or Hawaii or...
California is a strike-slip fault, so it's a whole different issue.
I mean, it's not a volcano. California's not a volcano, but they still experience earthquakes.
Yeah. Tennessee does quite often, but we don't feel most of them.
But yeah. You got a lot of people that try to twist and turn the Bible and make it suit them.
Yeah.
In reality, God will never change. No matter how you try to change His word, God will never change.
Yeah.
So, because the bottom of the line matter is...
Okay, now that's cool. He had his drink can standing on his side.
If y'all want to see what I was doing,
you'll have to go to his channel to see that.
But I know politics and religion is a touchy subject on certain things, because especially the way the world is, but you still gotta pray for them and make sure and pray. You still gotta pray for people.
Yeah.
Because what might be right for you might not be right for him. What might be right for me might not be right for y'all. Because that's why you got to be careful and not judge. Because, like I said, what might be right for me might not be right for him. Because God has a plan for each and every single one of us. And so we got to be careful on not judge.
Yeah.
Because who knows? A few years down the road, God might use him for something great. Yeah. It might not be for me. Like a few years down the road, God might use me for something. It might not be right for him. Because technically, even though I don't really talk about it, because technically, I'm supposed to be giving my testimony. And my testimony is, I survived 2 deaths. By the grace of God, I survived. The first one was, and I'm not really going to go into much detail. The first one was when I was born. And I'm only going to skim the first part of it. When I was born, doctors told my mama that I wouldn't survive. And if I did, I would have been confined to a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the surface of it. So many years down the road.
You were basically told, even if you survived, you'd probably never walk.
Yeah.
Yep. I understand that one.
But look at the guy that God healed, Jesus healed, that couldn't walk. He made the lame walk.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I'm what you consider lame, and not lame in a way like, oh, you're lame. I ain't hanging out. You hanging out. Not that type of lame. Lame, which means the way someone walks or acts or thinks.
Yeah.
Because they got some kind of disability. That kind of lame. Then the second time that I almost got that I shouldn't be here is when I got ran over. God lifted. It was a muscle car that ran over me. God lifted that car up just enough. Just enough. Because Mom, Dad, my wife, even the doctors swore up and down I had a broke rib cage and my lungs were busted.
Yeah, pierced lung.
Yeah. They swore up, but X-rays proved. And you're gonna be shocked when I say this. When the X-rays came back, the only thing that was wrong with me was I had bruises.
Wow.
And here's the shocker. Reason why there's a purpose for my life. Not a week or two later. And then remember, guys, this was back when I was in my 20s, early 30s. Well, early 30s to mid 30s. A week to 2 weeks later, there was a guy up in Michigan that experienced the same fate as I did when he got ran over, but he didn't make it. So good Lord has something planned in my life that, even though I might not act appropriately the way I'm supposed to, He has something in my life. Even it might be to give my testimony. It might be to let people know, hey, this is Bro Mikey's testimony. Even he has a testimony. Because technically he has medical problems too. Which, if he feels like it, he can explain it. It's not my place to say anything. Unless he says it's okay.
I mean, it's fine. I've kind of openly discussed this. Not so much on the podcast, but on my main channel. So, it's not that surprising. I was born with a birth defect called CDH that affects 1 in 4,000. And of that, only about 50% survive. And I was one of that 50%. So, there is some reason for why I'm here. 13 procedures later, there is a reason why I'm still here.
Well, there's a reason for everybody. Not just me, not just him. There's a purpose for each and every single person that's watching these videos, watching my main channel, watching my gaming channel, or even Joe Schmo down the road. God has a purpose for each and every single person He creates. Yes, we're born from mommy and daddy, but we're shaped and molded by good Lord up above. Because He's the one that breathes that breath of life in a person. Just like, even though we may not ever understand this, why God created like all the bugs in the world, all the creatures of the world, like the smallest from an ant, all the way until something big as a python or
an elephant.
Or there's a purpose for each animal as well, just like there is people. But if my partner don't have nothing else to say at this point in time, stay tuned for part 2 of the podcast. We will be revealing some new items that are out there, starting with the video that I did yesterday, and then I like to know his opinions about what the because basically what it is part 2 of this is going to be a food review.
Yeah.
Whatever it boils down to, because like we said at the beginning of the videos, it's just going to be a random thing.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for part 2.
Okay.
We shall return.
So we're back.
Part 2 of this video.
This will be, if you're seeing this on my channel, this will be the part of how will it taste.
And for my people on my side of the channel, this is part 2 of the podcast. Some of these I did yesterday. Some of these I'm going to be doing today. And so what we're going to start out with is the Pops Twix and Butterfinger. And as usual, like we always say, we're going to be rating it from 1 to 5. 5 being alive and 10 to win, and 1 never again. And is it worth the money that they want for it? That's how these food reviews.
How much were some of these? What?
About $4.
Okay.
Around the $4 to $5 range.
Okay.
Because the reason why I say around the $5 range is because you got to include tax. Because they're like $4 something a bag.
Okay. So,
well,
where do we want to start?
These were whichever one you want to start with.
Let's start with the Butterfinger.
And I know the bags are ripped, but these are cheap bags.
That's what it looks like.
It's popcorn with
peanut butter and popcorn. Not a combination I would have expected. I like it.
So is it a thumbs up in your book?
It's definitely a 5.
5 all day. And like I said, folks, you can get these at your local
grocery store.
And like I said in my food review video, big shout out to Carl. If it wasn't for him, I would have never found the Butterfinger one, because that was the last bag of where I work at.
Carl's really good.
And believe it or not, he follows me on my main channel. So big shout out to Carl. And a big shout out to everybody who watches. And if you're not subscribed yet,
go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
And join the family. What you waiting for? So for me, for the Butterfingers, I'll have to agree. A $5 all day, 10 to win. And yes, it's well worth the money that they want for them. Even though I said it was $4 and some odd cents. They're well worth the money. Because if you like Butterfingers, and if you like popcorn, right up your alley.
Definitely.
Now on to the Twix to pick up the sticks. Twix to pick up sticks. And that's what your Twix looks like. Even though they look like Butterfinger too.
Well, and the Twix are more caramel. That's where the brown comes from.
Yep. And they do have M&Ms. They have Snickers. They have the most recent ones is the ones that we're taste testing. And they also have Sour Patch.
You saw us taste test that.
I didn't do
last
the Sour
year.
Patch. I didn't do the Sour Patch one, did I?
Yeah, we did. We did that in the mix of Halloween stuff.
Slept since then, if I have.
You're forgiven. It's been a while.
And plus, I've had a lot of stuff go happen lately. In the last 6 months. And believe it or not, folks, even though I did a taste test on these yesterday for my main channel, I'm still at that. Still going to give it the same review as I gave it yesterday, 4.5. Not too, because not I don't know about him, but to me it just tastes like the chocolate overpowers.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I don't really get Twix out of this.
And that's what I was trying to explain to you. The chocolate overpowers the caramel, and you wouldn't think chocolate would overpower caramel, but it does.
Well, when there's so little caramel in it.
True, that's true too.
Well, let's see. I think I've got. Okay. This is so bizarre because the ones with caramel, you taste the caramel. But the chocolate overpowers it when it's got the caramel and the chocolate toast.
Yep.
So.
And that's where my 4.5 out of 5 came into play. I mean, it's still worth the money.
Yeah.
And yes, I would buy both of them again. But
I completely agree with him on this.
So we're both agreed 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
All right. Round 2. We have
Cocoa Rolls.
Cocoa Rolls. This one's the original. Because it's the coconut.
And salted caramel.
And salted caramel. Cocoa rolling.
Sun Tropic.
Sun.
You know what these things make me think of just looking at them?
Churros.
No. Do you remember the... I may be digging somebody's memories back. Do you remember the cereal straws?
Yeah.
That's what those things make me think of just by the look of them.
That and what makes me think of them is what's that one thing that the Petcher's Farm comes up? You know, the big old long cookie things that look like these.
Yeah.
That's what it also looks like. The
Pyrolytes.
Which one did you grab? Okay, just making sure I was grabbing the right one. So here it goes. And same way with this one. 5 to stay alive, 10 to win, or 1 never being again. And these are new. They just came out with them. Like a few months back. About about like the end of December and beginning of January. Or the mid of January, I don't know. Those are actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm. They actually taste coconut. I know it sounds weird, but
the calorie count on this one is 130.
I just realized we never showed the popcorn bit.
Not too overpowering. Great texture. The coconut flavor is hitting where it's supposed to be hitting. It tastes like a cookie.
I'm now curious to see
it
how
tastes like
that
a cookie.
salted caramel will taste.
It tastes like a cookie.
Mm-hmm. Now we're moving on to the salted caramel.
Then we'll give our opinions on both of them after we taste test both of these. If y'all was wondering why we didn't do our ratings yet. Grab a couple of them because one ain't enough. Okay.
Where's the caramel?
How come these don't have because these ain't.
Oh, there I got it.
Oh, those are okay. I thought the caramel and whatever would be inside the whole part,
It's
but
not.
it's not. It's flavored. And remember, we just got done eating them, so it's going to be a minute. It's going to take 2 or 3 of them to get the actual taste. Okay. This one tastes a little bit different. I'm not taking. This one tastes a little.
I'm not necessarily
off.
tasting caramel.
You know, mine is tasting like a little off.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an off brand or something type off.
Mm-hmm. So, I think the opinion that we're both having is this was good. This does not taste like what it claims.
Mm-mm.
The purple bag doesn't taste like what it claims to be.
I'm not even tasting the salt either.
Mm-mm.
It's supposed to be salted caramel.
It's just not. That is a miss. The original is good. Tasted exactly what I was expecting. But the caramel one,
I mean, it's good for what it is. And then if I come across it again, I may or may not buy it, just for something to snack on. But I'm sorry. Between the two, I would take the coconut flavored one over the caramel. And I'm a huge fan of caramel.
yeah. But this was,
I am not tasting caramel.
that was our taste test of these two.
I'm sorry, folks. But it's still good for how it was.
It's good, but if you're tasting it based on a flavor, it's really bad.
Yeah. Price-wise wasn't bad either. Okay, folks. Round 3 of what we're going to be taste testing. Remember the Girl Scout cookies? And they raised their prices up to $6 a box. Well, even though they made Girl Scout cookies in the version that he did a taste test on his channel, Keebler come out with my favorite version of a Girl Scout cookie.
The Samoas.
Exactly. Because I love the Samoas. Because if you like coconut,
you can't go wrong. Coconut and chocolate.
Because see, these look just like the Samoas of the Girl Scout cookies, but it's Keebler edition. So if you like Girl Scout cookies and if you want them all year round, I mean, Walmart and everybody else might have other flavors from Keebler.
Yeah.
But we're bought these. This is the only flavor that they have.
Yeah.
So let's just jump up in here and let's see if they actually replicated it to the T of the Girl Scout cookies.
That's what they look like.
Because see, they look just like Girl Scout cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And these are my favorite when it comes to Girl Scout cookies. So if you want Girl Scout cookies all year round and Samoas are your favorite, just pick you up a bag or two of the Keebler. Or a pack or two, or whatever you want to call it. Because like I said, Walmart, and yes, they'll be in a different container. Because this where this is ripped, it'll be in a different container. Let me take a sip of.
These are really good.
Don't they taste like just like Samoas? I try to tell people, even in person, I try to say, hey, Keebler doing Girl Scout cookies. I had some people say, they won't taste the same.
That tastes exactly the same. My sister was a Girl Scout and sold cookies. So I know these are pretty much exactly what they claim to be.
And like I said, Walmart, Food City, or wherever grocery store y'all are around, Kroger might have them. I mean, not this flavor. I'm talking about the other flavors. They got peanut butter. They got different flavors too.
They got peanut butter?
They got basically all the Girl Scout cookies, except for the newer ones.
And the thing is, the Goody Girl that I showed you all the other day, I guess that was last Monday. Or this past Monday.
For people on his channel. For people on my channel.
Yeah, he wasn't involved in this taste test. But the s'mores was really good.
And I'm a person who loves his s'mores.
I'd love to get his opinion on them. And they weren't expensive. They were like
$5 a box.
Well, the ones that I found were like $3 for the box, and that was pretty dang good.
Must have got on sale because when I went and looked at them, they were like $5.
Okay. But point is,
I mean, it don't matter the price. Thing is, will they taste just like what they claim?
And they did. So.
And after he gets done eating that,
let's move on to the next one.
Last but not least, and we're going to be doing these like we did the popcorns. Both of them at the same time. because, you know, I feel like having cake. How about you? And we side with ice cream. And what I mean, and you're saying, huh? How can you have cake? You didn't make none. Well, introducing
Birthday cake, popcorn.
Zah. And it's 140 calories. And what do you mean that you can have ice cream? Well, introducing ice cream flavored popcorn.
It is?
With 150 calories.
Peanut butter cup.
Get
Oh.
picture of the ice cream down there. And that's why I picture a birthday cake.
Okay.
So this is 10 calories more than the birthday cake. That's 140, while this is 150.
And it's the peanut butter in that one that pushes it over.
So without further ado,
Let's start with the peanut butter.
Let's just jump up in these. Am I gonna have to get my scissors?
Here.
I never had something be glued that much.
Hang on.
I haven't had something glued that much.
Let me show you. Oh, they're not. Two different brands.
Yeah, 2 different brands.
So this one had a hair strip on it.
Or the birthday cake did. And yep, we'll be starting with the ice cream one first. And we'll give our opinions after we eat both of them.
There.
I just smell popcorn.
You don't smell. Get a handful of it, then you'll smell it.
Might be just the bag itself. I smell caramel. Or whatever it's supposed to be.
Peanut butter and chocolate.
Okay. Now I'm starting to taste it. It just took a minute.
It's really good.
It's supposed to be a Sunday version. I think it's supposed to be like a Sunday.
Sweet and salty kettle corn with dark chocolate and peanut butter drizzle.
Or it's supposed to taste like a peanut butter cup. I don't know what.
That's kind of what it's supposed to taste like.
But to me, the way the pictures are showing it looks like ice cream.
I know what they did. You know the ones that have the statement, picture enlarged to show detail?
Yeah.
That's just enlarged popcorn. And there goes the heat again.
So, I might have said it wrong. My bad.
We're fine.
But just the way it looked like ice cream. But it could be the peanut butter cup. Which ain't bad. Of course, he's going to be taking some of this stuff home because honestly, he don't want to. They'll just go to waste here.
I'll take some of this home, for sure.
But after he gets done eating that, jump into
the peanut butter cup. It's really good.
Yeah. But we're saving our 1 to 5s after we eat the cupcake ones, or birthday cake. I smell the birthday cake.
Oh, wow. That's buttercream frosting.
I love buttercream frosting, especially on actual cake. Wow.
Really good.
I'm glad I got these. Wow. This ain't overpowering like the peanut butter cup one either. And I'm not a huge fan of dark chocolate. But that
Was done right. That's dark chocolate and peanut butter done right.
yo. Cause like the oops on the Kit Kats,
Mm-hmm.
the dark chocolate and mint chocolate
Mm-hmm.
had just enough mint on it to take away the texture of the dark chocolate. Because pure dark chocolate, I can't eat pure dark chocolate unless it's mixed with some. But between both of these, in my opinion, my wife would probably like the peanut butter cup one. But me, I'd probably buy the birthday cake one. Only because it's more blended properly than the peanut butter cup. Because you get all the flavors. You get all the flavors. Then again, if you hold them in your hand, that's what it does. So 1 to 5 out of both of them. Peanut butter cup one is going to be a 3.5 to 4, only because it's overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
Flavor wise, it's overpowering. The birthday cake one,
That was really good.
I'm going to have to give it straight up 5.
I sure say I'd give it a 5 regardless.
And our
Because that is really good.
And hey, these are just our opinions.
My opinion, I'm going to go ahead and give it. I know he's about to state, would you buy it again? On both of them, yes.
Remember, folks, these are just our opinions. You might like one over the other. So give them a try. See which ones you like. For me, it's the birthday cake. Takes it.
Yeah.
Between the two.
So the birthday cake takes the cake.
Yup.
I attempt to be funny and fail. Tragically.
And last but not least, before we end the episode, I'm debating rather than not if I should do a live video on one of our podcasts. See how it goes. So, if all y'all that know me in person, if you want to see me do a live feed, either let me know in person or drop it down
in the comments.
Yep. Because I'm seriously thinking about doing at least one of our podcasts live to see how good it goes. And if it does good, and if we, not just me, because I gotta let the CDH Warrior know or have his opinion about it too. If he enjoys it, we might stay live. If not, we'll just go resume back the how we've been doing it. So, if you want to see us go live at least once, let us know
in the comments.
Person or in the comment section. From the Bro Show, I am your host, Bro Mikey. Along with me, the CDH Warrior. We love you. We stay safe. And as always, remember, the Bro Show got it going on. So sharing is caring. Let your friends and family say, hey, go to the Bro Show. They keep it real. You might be going through some things. It might not be, even though we do our food review videos too, we do talk about real life stuff. So let a friend know, let your family know that the Bro Show got it going on. We love you. Stay safe. And as always, we'll see you next time, folks.